Hello, my model building friends. It's Brian with BG Model Workshop, and this is another final. This final is the honor build that I was doing for my father. This kit he had actually built back in, I think, 1968 or 69, and which means that this kit would have been 50 years old coming up here pretty soon. Unfortunately, this particular one was lost to history. He was in Alaska at the time in the Air Force, and he built this while he was in barracks. But using the photographic references that I have, I tried to recreate the kit, and this is what we came out with. Now, right off the bat, you'll notice that the colors are completely different. But in my defense, I had done some spoon checks, and what we were looking at was looking pretty darn good. So we decided to go with the TS89 Blue Pearl from Tamiya, and we thought we were going to have a pretty spot-on type of color here. But as it turned out, this is much more blue than the, it's almost a blurple, you know, blue purplish color coming up here on camera. But so the big deal about this particular kit is, if we go back to the photograph one more time, this B-pillar here, Corvair B-pillars are much thinner, much more narrow, much more elegant. This one has almost like a Charger style, like a 69 Charger style, causing this to be a tunnel window here. And in the kit, there's a Landau bit that you actually graft onto the car here as part of the customizing options, and apparently that was actually part of the kit that he had had back in the 1960s as well. So this is an AMT Ertl kit. It's not a very awesome kit at all, but it does have a lot of customizing options, so a lot of patience and some time, and you can take an average Corvair model kit and make it a little something special. There are a few issues with the kit itself, since it's been in constant production since the 1960s. So that's making this kit about 50 years old, the dies and everything like that. But the window glass right off the bat. Oh, by the way, here's a tip. Old eyeglass cleaning cloths are awesome for polishing up the transparent plastic on some of these kits. The window itself doesn't come to the actual pillars right here. It curves in a little too soon. So I don't know if we can see on camera here, but little BG is pointing to an area where we can see right past the window and past the window the A pillar. So that was a bit of you know, it's not something we think to check about when we're doing building and such. And there's not really much of a way to fix that, because I don't know about heating up transparent styrene to try and flex or bend, because that stuff is so brittle. Which is the inherent nature of transparent plastic, is it's going to be brittle. So the final fit and finish on everything, we had some trouble with the headlights, and the bumper are all one piece. So that was a little bit of a trick getting those in there. We had to carve out the backing holes a little bit larger than normal. But we did get it to fit in there. There's a bit of plastic that's fit, kind of sticking out right behind on the passenger side. And then you'll notice that the paint job has a little bit, the fingerprints are showing up really easily on this. And that's because I was so excited about getting this cut down and polished up and everything, and then starting to do the detail painting. I had neglected the fact that I did not clear coat it. So this is raw paint, and the stuff that I'm using to polish the raw paint apparently is causing it to dull anyway. I'm using the Meguiar's. Where is it? I don't know. It's someplace around here. It's the headlight polishing stuff by Meguiar's, and usually on the clear coats it does an awesome job. It doesn't leave any haze or anything like that behind. But on the raw paint here, it's being real susceptible to to fingerprint. So we'll probably give this one more dust down after the filming here, and then put it in an acrylic case and then never touch it again. This is obviously not a showpiece because of the way the paint turned out. It does have some orange peel going on there, and some of the fit and finish, if you can see right through here, BG's pointing out that we're seeing right past the window, past the C-pillar. Again, it doesn't fit quite right. I do have one more of these Corvairs in my stash, and I believe I'll be doing that as a convertible, because there's optional parts for doing that, and that'll alleviate 50% of the window issues that I have. So let's take a look in the engine bay here real quick, and that's not going to stay on its own, so we'll hold and go shaky cam. Hang on, guys. Alright, so the engine bay is gold, and I'll show you a photo reference here in just a second that was what my dad was using also. And you see that little green nub back there? That's because the engine and transmission are actually painted green as well. And where's my photo of that? So here, he's got an exploded view of what he's got going on. So here's the green transmission there, and then of course the gold engine bay. I'm not too sure why he chose those colors. I believe that might have been all he had available to use, because the guys in barracks, he talked about how they just kind of shared paints and such. Nobody really went out and bought their own stuff. They just kind of shared stuff around. So whatever was available, he used. So I'm going to give this a tip on its side as best as we can. I did not put mirrors on here because there are mirrors in the kit, but I didn't like them. And in the photographs, it doesn't have mirrors on it at all. So here's the transaxle green, and then we just did the little tins and oil pan in a semi-gloss black. As I have seen so many bottoms of Corvairs, I figured that would be pretty much stock there. Alright guys, there's the honor build for my father. Turned out fairly well. All in all, I'm pretty pleased with it. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again later. Bye guys.